Hello dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. In this video series, the next few weeks I'll be talking about recognizing the signs of psychological, mental and emotional abuse, how to break this cycle of abuse, why women in toxic relationships don't or cannot leave, and why they keep going back. The objective and the intention behind this series is to bring awareness, courage, and a fervor for those who are impacted by toxic partner relationships to recognize the red flags and plan an exit strategy if the situation becomes unsafe and tormenting. It's not only breaking free from the relationship, but from the fear, the self-doubt, the shame and guilt that's holding you back. I've been where you are, a living example in front of you. I lived in the shadows of abuse and I found a way out. If I could do it, you certainly can too. To know more about my story, you may watch the 12-part videos on YouTube or read my memoir, Leaving. Today I talk about gaslighting, a form of psychological abuse, both mental and emotional. You will find a questionnaire in the end to assess if you are being gaslighted. Well, the term gaslighting originated from the 1938 stage play Gaslight by British playwright Patrick Hamilton and its later film adaptation 1944 movie Gaslight starring Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer. In the story, a husband manipulates his wife into questioning her own sanity by gradually dimming the gas lights in their home while pretending nothing has changed. He also engages in other deceptive tactics such as hiding items and then denying they were ever moved to make her believe she is losing her mind. The wife begins to doubt her perceptions and reality, feeling confused and vulnerable as a result. The psychological manipulation depicted in the play became associated with the term gaslighting. Over time, it evolved to describe a form of emotional abuse where someone is made to doubt their own thoughts, memories, and a sense of reality. Gaslighting is often used as a tool of control and power in toxic relationships where the abuser tries to destabilize their victim's self-trust and confidence. The word became widely used in the 1960s and beyond. Gaslighting today is a commonly understood term to describe mental and emotional manipulation where the victim is led to question their reality. They doubt their perception of reality, memories, or feelings. It erodes the victim's self-confidence, making them more susceptible to ongoing manipulation and control. Let's look at the red flags that need to be recognized. The abuser undermines the partner's confidence by manipulating reality. The abuser frequently denies facts, memories, or events, making the partner question their own sanity. Over time, the partner starts to doubt their own judgment and relies on the abuser's version of reality. Erosion of self-esteem by constant doubt is the second one. The abuser may belittle the victim's feelings, making comments like, "You are overreacting," or "You don't be so sensitive," causing the victim to second guess their emotions. This persistent self-doubt wears down the victim's confidence. With diminished self-worth, the victim becomes more emotionally dependent on the abuser, feeling unworthy of love or respect. For example, if the victim confronts the abuser about his harmful behavior, the abuser may deny it outright or twist the story to make the victim appear irrational. The abuser may use name-calling, a tactic of using abusive words to ridicule and demean. Minor mistakes like forgetting where the car keys were kept or forgetting names are all that's needed to call a person stupid or embarrassing or even a moron. To cement their hold in the relationship, abuser often places the blame for his cruelty on victims. If you weren't so clumsy, maybe I wouldn't call you stupid. Next time, don't argue when I correct you. It makes me upset. One of the hallmarks of mental abuse is a lack of concern or indifference shown by abusers. Victims may be moved to tears or struggle with pain caused by the actions of their supposed loved ones. This does not faze any abuser. When crying, complaints, or clear communication aren't enough to produce an apology or remorse from an abuser, victims may learn to internalize their pain. Humiliation is another common threat to show control. An abuser can poke fun at everything from insecurities to changes in the list. An abuser may poke fun by the way you talk, dress up, or walk. Different things can be used as put-downs in abusive relationships, making low self-esteem another common factor. My perpetrator compared me with other female hosts. Rita is so smart to talk to, Sarah is apt at laying down the table, and here you are. At one time, when my mother showed him all the trophies and shields I had won in school debates and acclamations during school contests, he said, "Oh, these can be bought in pennies anywhere in the stores," demeaning my victories and self-worth. Third is isolation and dependence by controlling perceptions. Gaslighting often leads to the abusers controlling the narrative around the victim's close relationships, trying to isolate them. As the victim grows more isolated, they become increasingly reliant on the abuser for validation, approval, and emotional needs, further trapping them in the abusive relationship. They are happy to keep victims on their toes, watching out carefully for anything that might set off abuse. 4. Increased emotional and psychological abuse through escalation of control. Once a victim's sense of reality is sufficiently distorted, the abuser often escalates to more overt forms of mental and emotional abuse, such as controlling where the victim was, where does he go, whom do they talk to, checking their phone texts, how they think. This is often reinforced by name-calling and gaslighting, making the victim feel powerless to resist. The victim may feel trapped in the relationship, believing they cannot survive or make decisions on their own, making it harder to leave or stand up for themselves. Fifth would be creating fear and confusion by instilling fear. Gaslighting often creates a climate of fear and confusion. The victim is left unsure of what is real, making them more anxious and fearful of making the wrong move, thus giving the abuser more control. In this state of confusion and fear, the victim becomes more compliant, doing what the abuser wants in order to avoid further confrontations, gaslighting, or escalation of emotional and possibly physical abuse. Making threats are a way to pressure or ensure that a person is placed in constant terror or fear. Through intimidation, a power imbalance is created. In my case, my perpetrator would threaten that he will kill himself and make it a case of abetment to suicide by leaving a note against me and my parents if I left him. That fear was always hanging on my neck as a sword, and I just could not leave him. Number 6, normalization of abuse through distorted perception of abuse. Over time, the victim may no longer recognize gaslighting and emotional abuse as harmful behavior. The abuser convinces the victim that the problem lies with them, leading the victim to believe the abuse is justified or normal. This is a common tactic of the abuser to make the victim normalize their life. It took me several years to accept I was a victim. He may even say he was just kidding or joking. The victim may start to internalize the abuser's narrative, seeing themselves as the source of the conflict and tolerating more severe abuse, emotional as well as psychological or even physical. 7th, transition to other forms of abuse like physical and sexual abuse. As the abuser gains more psychological control through gaslighting, they may escalate the abuse into physical or sexual violence. The victim, conditioned to doubt their own reality and blame themselves, is less likely to resist or report the abuse. Sometimes, even after calling 911, the victims change their stance when the authorities arrive and say all is normal. Gaslighting leaves the victim feeling too confused and uncertain to recognize the severity of the situation, making them more vulnerable to staying in or keep coming back to the abusive relationship. Well, we will continue and talk about breaking free from the abuse in our next video. Let's wrap this video with call to action. Complete the assessment and either book a call or email at kanchan@kanchanbhaskar.com for any clarifications or any further discussions. Kindly subscribe so that it can reach out to those who are in dire need to watch such videos, and don't forget to share with friends. Bye for now.